All right, we're in Patreon. Let's do a luxury lounge. Send them in, jtrainpodcast@gmail.com, or comment here on Patreon. For the past few years, the club here has had several all-you-can-eat family-friendly dinners with activities for kids during the holiday season. Over the past few years, they have added a full-fledged carnival with legit rides. Last year on the carnival day, they amped up the food by including a few dozen food trucks. Also all-inclusive. We had a fabulous time, and it was on New Year's Eve, complete with a DJ and fireworks. We thought we would get the same experience again last night, but some unfortunate changes had occurred. Instead of being located on the driving range, yes, they put it on the driving range, they had to move it to the club parking lot because the grass was too wet. To start, everything was contained in a fairly small area, and the DJ did not adjust the volume accordingly. There was almost nowhere to go where the music was not deafening. I have been to dozens of concerts before and not felt such pain in my ears. They had also stationed the food trucks really close to the DJ, so you got to go deaf while waiting for your food. And here's the kicker. They had way fewer trucks and far more people this year because every line was a minimum 30 to 45 minutes just to order something. The whole party was 4 hours long, and I think my poor husband spent about 3 of those hours waiting in line to get food for us while I spent some time watching the kids go on rides. They also only had one truck with kid food like fries, burgers, chicken tenders, etc., and it took a total of 80 minutes. Yes, we timed it to get very average food. It was also the truck closest to the DJ, of course. By the time my husband was done getting food, all the included champagne for adults was gone. Horrific. Thankfully, our kids had a blast going on some rides over and over again. We are very grateful that my folks take us all to the events like this, but the food lines and music volume made it a very subpar experience. I literally rang in 2024 with serious ringing in my ears. My father's Apple Watch actually detected that the music was at a dangerous decibel level, by the way. I think we all will spend the next New Year's Eve back in our quiet home in the cold Midwest. Wow. Brutal. What sucks about this, and it goes back to something my dad always says, you can never repeat. You went to this out of nowhere event. And I think this happens with like a night like New Year's Eve. When you get a good New Year's Eve, and this is the problem here. You got to this event. It was all you can eat. They had a carnival. It's on the driving range. Magical night, stars in the sky. You go, wow. We achieved the impossible, a good New Year's Eve. And no one expects a good New Year's Eve. Everyone expects a horrible New Year's Eve. So what happens is, now you know you got a good New Year's Eve in your hand. And the next year rolls around and you go, oh my God, let's do what we did last year. What a win that was. And then what happens is everyone else says the same thing as you. You're not that different. You're not that special. Everyone else thought to themselves, wow, that New Year's Eve, we didn't even pay that much money, and we got the carnival, and there was food, and there was stars in the sky. Who's going to, oh my God, let's do it again. And then they tell one friend, everyone tells one friend, hey, you're not going to believe what we got. We got this great New Year's Eve. It's a carnival. It's on the driving range. They got food, and the kids can run wild. And then they go, oh, really? You got the New Year's Eve goods? It's like drugs. Oh, you got the goods. I got the New Year's Eve. I got the goods. I got the thing that you're going to want to be a part of. And I'm the one who told you to do it. Now you get street cred. You're the one who knows shit. And then you get there. That's right. Music starts playing. Oh, I thought you were creating a vibe. This is what you want. And this is the draw of being in the know. And you want to be the person that got people to the event that was better than they thought it would be. You're the king of New Year's Eve now. It's why people give suggestions. You got to go to the restaurant I told you to go to. Did you like the food? Yeah, you did, because I told you, because I know shit. And no one else knows shit like I do. And that's the problem here. You probably brought a few friends and you said, you guys don't understand. We got this buffet. It's at the club and it's going to be magical. And then you got there and they go, the grass is pretty wet. And now the clouds are in the sky. The stars are gone. And now you're in a parking lot. The DJ, who was great before because it was all the way down the driving range, is right in your ear. And you're going, how the hell did this happen? It's because you tried to repeat. You can't repeat. And this happens comedy because I remember, and I bring up the New Year's Eve thing because I remember doing a show. I was in New York City. It was New Year's Eve, and I was doing stand-up. And I remember I went to the Comedy Cellar, and it was like everyone was in their suit and tie, and they had their little rose in their hand and their champagne glass. And all the men were like, this better go well. I hope I didn't fuck up. And the show was hard. The show was tough. Couldn't do it. Like, I mean, you could do it, but like it was a tight room. And then I went and did a show in Brooklyn. And the show in Brooklyn was a free, just a bar show. A show that any other night would be horrific. But everyone in that room didn't pay for tickets, didn't have to get the rose for their girl. They were just like, let's see what happens in this bar. And wow, I didn't have to pay. And nothing feels better than knowing someone else is doing worse than you. And that's the real draw of what happened with you at the buffet. Because you, the original New Year's Eve, the original carnival, you're like, wow, what people would do to be here. And then you go to the second carnival, second buffet, not as good. You go, I knew what it could have been. Someone out there is getting that time. And that was the thing with the Brooklyn show. The Brooklyn show was loose. Everyone was like, we didn't pay any money. There's someone out there paying for a shitty New Year's Eve, and I'm here winning. It's tough. Luxury lounge. Let's do some news. What's this first story? Spicy audiobooks. Spotify adds a spicy audiobook section amid the increased demand for adult audio content from apps like Dipsea. So I think Dipsea might have sponsored one of the podcasts, but what does Dipsea do? Dipsea is an app for sex stories, sleep scenes, and wellness sessions designed to turn you on and then tuck you in. You can download Dipsea from the App Store, Google Play, or listen online. I think they might have sponsored, or something like it might have sponsored. And now Spotify is getting involved. This makes total sense to me. I mean, I think these are a great idea to listen to with a partner. I think these are the type of things that take the pressure off. Like if you're out there and you're like, what do we do tonight? You and me and my partner. We want to be sexy. And no one wants to bring up an idea. No one has an idea. I remember I mentioned that like men can only say like 3 positions on stage that they like. If you ask a guy his favorite sex position, he can say missionary, he can say doggy style, and then every now and again they'll say reverse cowgirl, and the whole audience will go ooh. And it's like men don't feel comfortable saying any other thing. And then someone was like, well, what would they say? And I was like kind of stumped. I was like, I guess I don't know what they would say. And I guess if I even said the 4th thing, I'm the weirdo. They'd be like, well, is that what you're thinking about, Jared? So I like these spicy audiobooks because I do like that it's like, let's let someone else bring up the thing. And then you and your partner can go, huh? Do we like? Do we not like? Weirded out? Turned on? It's like a temperature check, I think, in a relationship. And so the spicy audiobooks, I can see why they're becoming more and more. Also, I mean, I've never used one alone. I've read like erotic fiction. It turns you on. I could see the allure. It is a funny thing to like, yeah, before bed, I used to do a hot glass of milk, but instead I do sexy audiobooks and then tuck. It is weird that it's both a place to get tucked in and to jack off. Like, it's a little weird. I think I need 2 different apps. Like, I want one app for the jacking, another app for the sleeping, but I like where they're going with this. Travis Kelce wipes away tears as brother Jason announces retirement from NFL. See, I like the Kelsey brothers. I like them. I think, like most things that go viral, I think internet stuff and, the Kelsey brothers are professional athletes who put years into things and trained and are, both I think are going to be Hall of Famers. But the Taylor Swift stuff, this is where you start to get annoyed. I don't think there was as many people out there as was professed of these like men who are like, get Taylor off of my TV. I'm watching football. I don't think that exists as much as it was kind of said. I think it exists for a moment. I don't think it's one of those opinions that is like a 50-50 thing the way it's been talked about. The part where the Taylor Swift thing gets annoying is like, yeah, athletes cry. Like, and when we see them cry, men go, yeah, that's a football player who's not going to play his favorite sport ever again. And that you understand if you played high school football, if you played college football, if you played any high school sport, college sport, whatever sport you like to do at a high level or at the level that you could participate in, the minute it's over for you, it's sad. It's an end of your childhood. It's an end of your innocence. These guys, the lucky part about being a professional football player is that you get to play a fun kids game for as long as you can, for the longest you can. So I understand the tears that come from Jason Kelsey. You go, yeah, that is a sadness that every person who's ever played sports on any level has felt on their last day. He's just doing it with millions of dollars at stake and with a big press conference. But it is interesting because now you see all these I see these memes on Instagram and TikTok of like, who's the mother that brought up these emotionally available men? And it's like, I've seen unavailable emotional men also cry when they couldn't play high school football ever again. Like, this isn't exclusive to the Kelsey brothers being these mythical godlike men that don't exist anymore. That's the part where it's like the pendulum has swung too much, in my opinion, because, and it's also like, guys see this, they go, yeah, he's going to miss football. And then the Taylor Swift fan types that like came into football just now are like, see, you other cavemen need to start feeling like the Kelseys. It's like, no. This isn't a guy crying about, whether, he can love again. And here's another thing. Jason Kelsey chokes up remembering night he met wife Kylie. I knew right away. Can people stop saying this? Can people stop saying they knew right away? How about you didn't know right away? How about you were like, oh, we went on a couple dates. I wasn't sure. That's the problem. I need to hear. You only hear from guys saying, I knew right away. Is everyone married an I knew right away person? They can't. Not everyone can be. And only women get allowed to say that. At first I wasn't into him, and at first he was an ogre, and I wasn't really, his look wasn't for me, but then he was so nice and so sweet, and I was like, I could get used to this. That's always a female story. This guy's got to come out and embarrass us. What are you supposed to... Now you're a guy on a first date. Like, if I was a woman on a first date, I'd be like, do you know right away? Do you have a feeling about this? And it's like, what is he supposed to say? Let me read the quotes. I won't forget the Eagles' Christmas party in 2014, heading out afterwards with a bunch of my teammates to Buffalo Billiards, where my life would change forever, Jason 36 said. Jason wiped away tears as he recalled the first instance of Kylie walking into the bar, which he admits is burned in my retina. Jason, stop doing this to us. You got a podcast with 1 billion followers now because of Taylor Swift, and now you're going to do this to us? It was like she glided through the opening, an aura around her. Dude, enough! How about you just say you knew at first sight the interaction was good? Don't do an aura around her. Then she started talking, and I thought, man, this is what love feels like. He said of Kylie, 31. She was beautiful and smart and serious, yet playful. I knew right away. And the thing is, when I laugh at this, I'm the turd in the punch bowl. Like, I'm the misery. When they first matched on the... Wait a minute, what? In their prime... Jason won't let me lie about this, Kylie said before anything. We met on Tinder. Wait, what? When they first met on the app, Kylie had no idea who he was because Jason didn't include any photos of himself playing football, but she eventually realized he looked kind of familiar. Talking to Google, the college athlete made the match and believed she was being catfished, but she decided to meet Jason, 36, and his friends for a bar for a few drinks regardless. Right away, when she walked in the door, the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, Jason recalled, adding that it felt very much love at first sight. Well, come on. He's really changed the story of a dating app. You know, like I just don't buy this all. I want her story. I would like for any non-professional athlete to say, hey, meet me at the bar with my friends at Buffalo Billiards and see how they feel about that first date experience. She has bought the best out of me through love, devotion. Okay, enough, Jason. When do you stop? I'm laughing at the idea of, he's like, it was the minute she waltzed into Buffalo Billiards. It's like, Buffalo Billiards? I don't think that's the story she told her friends. I think I'm being catfished, but I guess I'll go to Buffalo Billiards. She says he's there with friends. And then she has one friend who's like, billiards with his friends. No drinks. Somber Aaliyah Baldwin keeps a low profile after arrest for throwing used tampon at bartender. Now, the Baldwin family is not new to New York Post headlines. They have many, they're prolific in this area. I just don't, maybe that's why it's so interesting to me, the title. The title, go back up. The title, Somber Aaliyah Baldwin. Is she the victim? Didn't she throw the tampon at the bartender? Keeps a low pro. How can I go out again after I threw my tampon at that bartender? How will I love again? I mean, Aaliyah Baldwin Aronow appeared somber as she spent some time with her father, actor Stephen Baldwin, after her arrest for assault and battery in Georgia. I mean, assault and battery for a tampon throw? Let's keep going down. Hailey Bieber's sister kept a low profile and sunglasses, a beanie, pink Crocs. I mean, look how she's dressed. I mean, if anyone has ever looked like they just threw a tampon at someone, that is the look. That is, I had a bad night.
It's the first time, by the way.
It's the first time she's thrown a tampon at a bartender. Page 6 confirmed Friday that Aaliyah, 31, was arrested after she allegedly threw a used. How do you know if it's used?
Maybe she took it out.
You think she took it out and threw it at him?
Yeah.
At a female bartender who worked at Club Elon in Savannah after she was seen throwing up in the bathroom. That was a rough night. The model also allegedly tore a chunk of... Can't see.
The model also allegedly tore a
chunk of hair out of one bouncer's head and striking another one in the genitals. It is interesting that throwing a tampon at someone immediately goes above the I punched a bouncer in the genitals. I mean, that... She also initially denied throwing her used tampon at Miss Colley, but later stated she did throw it, the report noted. I like that she's being open and honest. I mean, it does look like she had a rough night. She's definitely drunk. I don't know how drunk I'd have to be to pull something out of my body and throw it at someone.
She's probably in the bath because it said it was in the bathroom.
Oh, so she went in the bathroom probably to change her tampon. She probably put it in her purse, wrapped in a napkin or something. Oh, it was in the bathroom. Oh, yeah, that's a better explanation. That's a more empathetic look at it. Yeah. Listen, if she was in the bathroom, got in a fight, mid-changing out her tampon through, you use anything you can. Wow, I've really been changed on this one. I went from this person's a monster to, yeah, it could happen. Lance Bass on aging. How old is Lance Bass now?
Take a guess.
I think he's 45.
Okay.
44. Lance Bass is 44. Okay. And he says, I need to stop pretending I'm 21. He said this on aging and fatherhood. Well, you have to stop being 21 when you're a father, I would assume. Like if Lance is saying bye to any bad habits and devoting every little thing he does to all things health and wellness. I'm in my 40s now. No, you've been in your 40s. You're 44. So I need to stop pretending I'm 21, the singer says over a Zoom call, enjoying a beautiful day in Los Angeles. That means keeping his heart rate up through exercise, including lifting and making sure he is toning his muscles. Bass, 44, developed diabetes within the last few years. He's still trying to figure out how to deal with that. Testing what to eat and drink, eat and seeing how his body reacts. It's all kind of trial and error right now as I just don't understand what this interview is about. Like so he's partnering with Allegra Airways in the process to help allergy sufferers find areas with less pollen and air pollution. So this is an ad for Allegra?
Yeah.
When you have kids, it's no longer about you. I don't need to take this from Lance Bass. This is the thing. You came on here to promote Allegra, and you're like, I got to stop partying. And then you're like, let me teach you how to parent your kids. It's like, how about you just do one thing? What was so nice was to be able to present with my kids and not be on the road. Kids are the greatest thing to get in the way of you sounding like an asshole. I really do believe that. Like, when you say like, oh, the kids made me think differently on how I treated my body, I got to stop being 21. It's like, yeah. I would think that's a thought you would have had a few years back. But then when you say kids, no one can go, like, I guess the accusation is like, no one's saying he's a bad dad, but it's like, it just sounds like the words you're saying have no merit to them.
And now it's talking about him coming out as being gay.
Every Lance Bass article does feel like it's a PR plant to be clicked on. He came out, now he's got diabetes. Allegra Airways, where can you travel? And then you go, oh, this article annoys me because I got caught in it. I'm clicking on it when it's really just a way for me to tell people about Allegra and how you should get ready for pollen season. I thought I was clicking on an article. Lance Bass says he's got to slow things down. I thought he was like, I'm an addict. I can't drink anymore. I'm doing too many drugs. No, it was Lance being like, choose Allegra. I'm going to start, and thank you, therapy. Now I'm going to start doing, if I get a sponsored, if I'm doing Fit Tea, Jared says he's got to get his life together. And you know how you do that? Fit Tea. Selena Gomez reveals why she is finally at a good place with everything in her life. Selena Gomez revealed that she's finally where she is in her life in a new interview with Rolling Stone. Part of me feels like I'm finally at a good place with everything in my life. The Only in Murders building star 31 told public. This annoys me because the headline should be Selena Gomez, who is 5 months into her new relationship and in her 30s, finally feels okay in life. Because that's when you start to feel okay in your life. When you're in your 30s, you know what you like, you know what you don't like. And then when you're in the first 5 months of a relationship, of course you're like, wow, the world's pretty good. Yeah, you're fucking on a daily basis. You're hugging with your new, beau. You don't even know the person enough to have a problem yet. You're not living together. You get to go home to your own bed. That's what the headline should be. Selena Gomez fucks and sleeps in her own bed. So she's realizing life's pretty good. Yeah, that's right. See, the context matters here, right? I'm 39. I'm not feeling good. I don't fuck and then go home and sleep on a bed of money. She has no financial issues. You know what? I'm finally feeling pretty good. Oh, because you're financially secure and you're 31 and you have a boyfriend for the last 5 months who hasn't told you all his traumas yet.